start with today's webinar. Okay, so today's topic is about how we can help enterprises move to Liferay DXP with the help of automation and without any data loss. To start the presentation, I would like to introduce the speakers first. We have Eric with us, who is from Liferay. And Eric is a solution sales head who has more than 8 years of experience, and his job is to help enterprises. He understands the enterprise's requirements and then helps organizations to employ Liferay in the best way possible to make the best out of it. We have Shubham with us. Shubham is a technical expert from AIMDek. He has more than 5 years of experience, and he has been working as a tech lead. He has been helping AIMDek in understanding the client's requirements with their solution architecture and with its implementation. I am Devang Usani. I work as a marketing expert here, where I help AIMDek promote its Liferay offerings and its services to the enterprises. Moving on to introducing the AIMDek. AIMDek is an organization that started in 2014. We have been working in Liferay for many years now. We are a silver service partner here at Liferay, and we have more than 30 plus certified resources in Liferay practice. We have been helping organizations from across domains such as finance, fintech, healthcare, manufacturing, and other such domains, implementing and consulting them with Liferay. We have been helping them understanding the Liferay offerings and then implementing and then customizing the platform in a way that it helps them get their business outcomes. Moving on to the actual offerings, or when we talk about our partnership with Liferay, we have been helping enterprises in 3 main areas, which also happens to be Liferay's 3 core offerings in terms of DXP. We help enterprises deliver tailored experiences across platforms and devices, where no matter where you want to, what kind of enterprise applications you want to be built on Liferay, we help them develop them and deploy them and help them integrate them with all the ecosystems. We also help with managing the complex workflows and permission management with the use of Liferay's OOTB modules and its permission management and user management modules, where we define the business logic and then help them deploy this multi-channel content workflow and permission management issues. Also, for organizations who have been actively into the digital commerce, we help them implement the commerce with the help of DXP. Although Liferay has been prominent leader market, or we could say a market leader in the enterprise DXP platform for its B2B and B2E applications or implementations, but it has amazing commerce capabilities, and it has been making their way into the B2C market. To help you understand more about Liferay, or how the organization functions, or what are their base, I would like to invite Eric, who would give you the overview about Liferay and its capabilities. Over to you, Eric.
Thank you, Devang. So as Devang mentioned, Liferay is a digital experience platform. That's primarily what we have as our main offering. We have 3 different ways to deploy that, right? There's a Liferay DXP, the digital experience platform that you can deploy either on-premise in your own bare metal infrastructure if you wish, in your own public-private cloud. There's also our cloud offerings that we have called Liferay Experience Cloud Self-Managed, which is our PaaS-based solution, platform as a service, as well as a Liferay Experience Cloud, which is our completely hosted infrastructure and application SaaS-based offering for Liferay DXP. Now, Liferay itself, we were founded in 2004. We started as an open source project for Liferay, which was historically a portal. But as we've grown more and more over the years, have transitioned into what we call a digital experience platform, where that focus is really to create those delightful user experiences, as Devang mentioned, through the role-based access controls of how users can interact with not only applications, but content, documents, and media, and any type of data that you want to bring to that user in their hands at the right time. We have a global presence in over 22 locations worldwide, over 5 million downloads of the Liferay software that many users are utilizing across different enterprises from industries such as financial services, insurance, manufacturing, healthcare, and more. Over 1,500 enterprise customers globally that are using us for many different use cases, from public sites to intranets to customer portals to partner and supplier portals, what have you. Liferay is a platform that can truly be used and tailored to meet your specific needs as an organization and fit what you're looking for to bring over existing data from legacy systems into that cohesive user journey that branches across all those silos that you might have today into one fit. At the same time, we have over 1,000 different employees globally in many different locations, as we talked about before, 22 locations worldwide. So wherever your organization is situated, we can easily work with you in your time zone, in your particular region, and make sure you have the best experience possible. We've been included in the Garter Magic Quadrant for DXPs through Gartner, as well as the Forrester Wave for intranets. And really our goal is to create one platform for not only B2B and B2E, but also B2C, where we excel in creating those user journeys across all your users, whether they be actual external stakeholders, customers, internal employees, what have you, to make that cohesive user journey possible.
Okay. Eric kind of is too humble while saying it, but I would add to the feathers that it has been recognized by Gartner as a market leader in their Magic Quadrant for 11 years straight now. So it has been a modern DXP that has been helping enterprises, and it has been employed by a lot of different industries. But when we talk about the general problems when it comes to DXP, why people or why enterprises are choosing to move from legacy CMS or legacy DXP solutions and then moving towards modern DXP that can help them deliver these digital experiences, these microsites and user management, all these experiences. So the major reasons that we have identified over the years is these points. So first one is a monolithic price structure. No matter what, as you might have heard from Eric, that Liferay can be employed in many different ways for many different use cases in many different ways. But majority of enterprise DXP solutions, when they go to the market, they have a very monolithic price structure where they have to employ the solutions as it is and pay the price, no matter if you're using the solution to its optimum use or not. Also, one of the biggest reasons employees and enterprises have been challenged when it comes to employing the DXP has been a very steeper learning curve because of n number of offerings which they have on their platform and n number of modules. Enterprises sometimes don't get, and the employees of the organizations don't accept that change, and because of the steeper learning curve, enterprises can't make much out of their DXP. Also, because of the acquisitions that have been happening nowadays, where DXP solutions or CMSs are being acquired and then acquired by large enterprises. And because of that, when enterprises employ such legacy applications, they don't know where the product will move in the future, right? Because of that reasons, the product timelines and technology decisions that the DXP platform will take, they have no idea about it. And because of those reasons, enterprises have been moving to migration. Selecting to migrate to another modern DXP solutions like Liferay. The major reasons that we have found, based out of these pain points, when we're asking questions as to why you're moving from one platform to the other, we have found that it has been a preliminary cost burden, which is basically the CAPEX or the capital expense that you make in employing the DXP. The lack of OTB modules, the market is all about accelerating the GTM or your time to market when it comes to digital experiences and the digital enterprise applications. The lack of such OTB modules hampers the growth and the timeline of the enterprise, and they are not able to make the most out of it. Also, increased timeline and custom development efforts. So because of the lack of OTB modules, they have to custom develop the entire thing, and that based on that they have to spend a lot of time and cost in the development. Integration challenges again. So most of the DXP solutions are based or built on certain technology set, and because of that limitations, they sometimes don't fit the integration requirements or the technology stack that the enterprises are currently using. And because of those challenges, what they have to do is ultimately they have to move from one DXP or the legacy CMS and DXP solution to modern solutions like Liferay. But when we talk about migration, migration itself is a journey, it's a process, and there are many challenges, especially technical challenges when it comes to DXP migration. So to explain those challenges of migration, I'd like to invite Shubham, who would help you understand all the technical challenges of migration. Over to you, Shubham.
I will now explore the intricacies and challenges that the organizations face from the technical perspective when undertaking substantial migration projects. It is crucial to understand and navigate these challenges effectively, as they can affect the success of any migration journey. A migration journey begins with data complexities that can be very daunting. According to research by Gartner, over 50% of data migration projects overshoot their intended budgets and schedule. Let's examine some of the typical scenarios that organizations often confront during the data migration. Firstly, dealing with large data sets presents a significant challenge. Transferring extensive volumes of data can be time-consuming and resource-intensive task. It calls for a thorough planning and execution to steer clear of expensive setbacks. Secondly, data consistency is paramount throughout the migration process. Unpredictability in data can lead to errors, data loss, and potential complications further down the line. Thirdly, data quality is of utmost importance. Migrating data riddled with inaccuracies or omissions can result in significant issues post-migration. It is critical to invest the time in data cleaning and validation to ensure the highest possible quality of data. Imagine a large organization that relies on a widely used CRM to manage its customer data and interactions. However, the company has unique business processes and specific data requirements that are not fully addressed by the out-of-the-box features of the CRM software. In this scenario, the organizations might opt for a custom implementation to tailor the CRM system to its specific needs. This customization could involve developing new modules or features, creating customized workflows, and integrating the CRM with other in-house software or databases. These custom implementations ensure that the CRM aligns perfectly with the organization's unique processes, data, and reporting requirements. However, migrating these elements requires careful planning and thorough testing to ensure these seamlessly function in the target environment. This often entails code modifications, compatibility checks, rigorous testing to guarantee that your custom components function flawlessly in your target environment. Ensuring their successful migration is essential to maintain the functionality and the user experience your stakeholders expect. Thirdly, imagine a large organization. Imagine a large organization that relies on a CMS ERP system that manages various aspects of the operations such as inventory, finance, and human resources. The organizations decide to implement an enterprise content management system to streamline the document management and improve the collaboration. Integrating the ECM systems with existing ERP systems becomes a significant challenge. This integration requires building connectors and APIs to enable seamless exchange of information. For instance, the ERP systems need to communicate with the ECM system to access and update documents related to financial transactions, purchase orders, and employee records. This involves mapping data fields between these systems to ensure data consistency. However, it is important to recognize that the challenge of integration extends beyond technical aspects. It involves aligning business processes and ensuring that the integrated systems work in harmony to meet organizational objectives. Fourth, the content management often emerges as a significant headache for the migration process. Issues such as duplicate content or contradictions between the old and new platform can be vexing. Consider the following practical example. During the migration of a large content repository, it is not uncommon to encounter duplicate documents, articles, or media files. Resolving these issues requires a thorough content audit. You must map the content to fit the new structure and employ deduplication processes to ensure that your new platform maintains data integrity. Content management goes beyond just eliminating duplication. It involves assuring quality and consistency between your source and target environment. Managing role-based access and permission is another layer of complexity in the migration. Failing to address this properly can result in security vulnerabilities and data leakage. Consider this example. Suppose your organization is migrating to a corporate intranet. In your existing system, you established and integrate role-based access controls to ensure that sensitive information is accessible only to the authorized personnel. Transferring these permissions to the target platform is a painstaking process that involves planning, documentation, and testing. Ensuring that users have the right access levels in the new platform is essential. Inadequate access to control can lead to unauthorized access, data breaches, and regulatory compliance issues. In summary, with meticulous planning, effective execution, and right strategies in place, these challenges can be masterfully navigated. The cornerstone of success of any migration journey lies in your ability to foresee and proactively address these complexities through automation and business processes, paving the way for a seamless transition to zero data loss. As we conclude this segment, I'm delighted to introduce Eric Kirby with Liferay, who will guide you through the Liferay DXP's offerings and how Liferay can help kickstart your migration journey. The stage is yours, Eric, to lead the way to the path ahead.
Thank you, Siobhan. And so as Siobhan mentioned, there are many different considerations as you look at migrating to Liferay. As I mentioned before, there's three primary methods that you could employ to deploy your Liferay solution, essentially. You could deploy on-prem, which would be in your own data center, as I mentioned before, in your own public or private cloud. You could take advantage of Liferay Experience Cloud, our PaaS, Platform as a Service solution, or Liferay Experience Cloud, our SaaS solution, there to deploy in those three main mechanisms. As you look at those three options, really, one of the main things to consider is what is your source solution that you have today? Is it a portal-based technology, meaning does it leverage the portlets JSR 168 and 286 specifications? If so, the on-ramp to Liferay is fairly straightforward because Liferay itself, from a platform perspective, does adhere to those same specifications. Meaning if you already have existing portlet technologies, already existing portlet applications, the on-ramp for that is fairly straightforward. There's still some refactoring, of course, that would need to be done for Liferay specific mechanisms to be able to register that portlet itself from Liferay's perspective, but it's fairly straightforward compared to a full re-implementation when we're considering just a refactor in that method. As you're looking at going to, let's say, our SaaS-based offering, however, that's where you would be able to consider deploying these new applications as what we would call client extensions, which are underlying JavaScript web components. Essentially, if you have React, Angular, or Vue components that you've developed through a modern web interface that your users employ today from a development perspective, it's very easy to create those inside of Liferay through our client extensions method. It makes it so that those existing components can easily be brought over. And at the same time, there's a brand new framework in Liferay called Liferay Objects that was released in our latest version, Liferay DXP 7.4, that allows you to completely recreate data structures from your existing solution within Liferay through a low to no code interface. It's all GUI driven. A business user could go in and actually create those model layer entities. And as they create that structure for the data, that schema, they can essentially toggle a button that allows it to say, is this a local service or a remote service? And if it is a remote service, Liferay will automatically start creating those CRUD operands, those APIs that now you can start integrating with that source solution that you have today to dynamically, scripturally bring that data over into that existing schema. What that means now is if you create these as Liferay objects, it's an existing platform framework, which means it ties into things like Liferay form capabilities. So you can have a front-end form sitting in front of that object, that data structure, that allows users to fill it out. You can instantiate an object through a user form that someone fills out off that drag and drop interface. And once that object is created, now it can start to tie into the workflow capabilities of Liferay. So that object can start going through a workflow process to review, approve, reject, what have you. It can be a manual review process through Liferay's workflow. You can have scriptural jobs that fire off at each individual state of that workflow to start tying off into other backend services and bringing that data forth through all your different silos that you have as an organization. And at the same time, the object itself ties into our role-based access controls that Devang and Siobhan mentioned earlier, so that now you can start restricting specific fields to only individual users, specific groups. They can start adding supplementary information to that object. And what that means is as you take that data from those legacy systems, you can now bring that forward into more out-of-the-box functionality of Liferay, minimizing the customizations of what that target solution could look like, meaning easier maintainability, more scalable solutions. And at the same time, business users can start driving how those objects are structured and created within your environment. So as you start looking at deploying in those three different contexts, on-prem, LXCSM or PaaS solution, or even LXC SaaS, of course, the first two are going to have a more direct on-ramp, right, to how you might be able to get there by leveraging existing standards. But if you're really looking at able to take advantage of a cloud solution for your customer or your target solution, right, that means a hosted infrastructure, a hosted application with guaranteed SLAs for uptimes. It truly makes sense to make that initial investment to really look at your data as it exists today and bringing it over into a scalable modern web solution and something like Liferay Experience Cloud for our SaaS solution. Now, as I've talked about some of those main considerations, I think it's great to bring up some of our case studies, actual customers that have gone through this process and how they've migrated from existing solutions like IBM WebSphere, now owned by HCL, and brought that over into Liferay DXP. One of the first case studies I'd like to bring up is Excelis, Blue Cross Blue Shield. Excelis is part of a $6 billion family of companies that finances and delivers healthcare services across both upstate New York and long-term care services nationwide through insurance. Collectively, Excelis provides health insurance to nearly 1.5 million members and employs around 4,000 New Yorkers. So a very, very large solution. And when they were looking at taking these existing 18 sites that they had over to one cohesive platform, you could tell this was a huge project. They wanted to create a cohesive user experience for both their members, their Medicare members, their providers, employers, brokers, and internal users. And that meant truly a vast digital transformation across their entire enterprise. And so as they started evaluating that, they were really looking for platforms that allowed them, one, the flexibility and stability to tie into their existing systems that they had today, those best in breed point solutions that they had with existing data, and at the same time choose in a case-by-case basis what was so out of date, what was so technological debt, they could choose to cut off ties with it. For example, their legacy mainframe interfaces. And Liferay allowed them to do exactly that with our open standards and open source heritage of our platform. And so through that migration process, they actually brought all 18 sites, over 100 different portlets, complex security requirements, content personalization requirements, and more, all over to Liferay from that IBM WebSphere portal that they had before, of course, now owned by HCL. And so it allowed them truly to create that cohesive user experience for all those various different stakeholders, different personas, through one cohesive platform from a technology perspective. That incurred 65% reduction in software costs for them as an organization, because now they were able to bring those monolithic price structures, as Devon was talking about before, into one cohesive platform of Liferay. And you can see here a great screenshot of what that member portal looks like, that experience through that modern web interface that they were able to deliver inside of Liferay. The next case study that I would like to talk about is TriMedics. TriMedics is a clinical asset management company. They are able to create a robust service for their users to actually go in and interact with core management services. And actually, for this particular case study, I'd like to hand it over to Siobhan to talk about how AIMDek was able to bring that. Actually, sorry, the slide here I see is now TriMedics. So as I mentioned before, TriMedics is an industry-leading independent clinical asset management company. TriMedics helped healthcare providers transform their clinical assets. So you can imagine their MRI machines, X-ray machines, very complex and sophisticated machinery, and transform them into strategic tools by driving reductions in operational expenses, optimizing their clinical asset capital spend, maximizing resources for patient care, and also delivering improved safety and protection. And the main way they were able to deliver that is through their customer portal, their client portal, which was able to deliver to their end users, those healthcare providers, real-time data about how those sophisticated pieces of machinery were actually performing through rich analytics, tying into a very robust back-end data layer that they had with both Snowflake and Looker. As they were looking at transforming their entire enterprise and how they interact with their customers, they were really focused in on what is going to be the front end, what is going to be that platform that brings that transformational back end, that data migration to those users with rich personalization, right? To determine in real time what's the right information to bring into the right hands at the right time for those end users. So that as a healthcare provider logs in and they're trying to see the information about their particular machinery, they can see that through a personalized dashboard within Liferay. And so as they decided Liferay was going to be that key platform and solution to bring forward that experience for them, they went forward in their migration process and took 11 months for a full digital transformation, which actually in our target analysis was quite advanced. They were able to leverage over 100 out-of-the-box capabilities of Liferay in the platform to bring that personalized content delivery alongside the rich back-end information that was brought forward to their users for their over 100 monthly healthcare providers that are logging in and finding that information. They were able to tie into rich notification frameworks of Liferay to alert those healthcare providers in real time whenever there is a sophisticated piece of machinery that needs some preventative maintenance or reactive maintenance and service requests for that machine as it starts hitting certain inflection points in design cycles that are targeting that particular service. At the same time, too, as they went through and evaluated that client portal, they actually realized with Liferay capabilities, we have rich commerce functionality that Devang mentioned in our platform. And so that allowed them to actually identify a brand new revenue stream, a new service they could offer to their customers through that client portal called a marketplace. They identified those healthcare providers as they had healthcare providers that vary in terms of the actual budget spend that they have for these different machines, the robustness and quality of the machines that they could purchase in terms of let's say you have a healthcare network that has a great budgetary spend, can buy the latest and greatest MRI machine, right? And on the other end of the spectrum, more rural or smaller regional healthcare networks aren't able to purchase those brand new machines, but they would really love to be able to identify when, let's say, a used piece of machinery is reaching that inflection point in its life cycle. Well, it's taking a little bit more maintenance, it's taking a little bit more work, cost to get it going, right? They created a marketplace through which those healthcare networks and providers could actually post the machinery that they would like to actually sell and bring forward through a liquidity event to actually say, hey, I want to take this MRI machine. I want to bring back some revenue from what I am actually servicing out in that particular piece of machinery. They could post it online through Liferay's marketplace that we're able to offer inside of that platform. And of course, by offering that service, TriMedics is able to get some revenue as well through that transaction. And so it was able for them to bring forward a brand new service that they never really imagined before in the first place, and a great new service that many of their customers are taking advantage of today. Now, as we start looking more and more about migrating your solution that you have today over to Liferay, I will really implore upon you, right? Take advantage of a domain expert who's gone through this process before. Because as I mentioned in those two case studies before, they're taking advantage of a lot of the out-of-the-box functionalities of Liferay. And our goal would be, as you work with a partner who's gone through this before, they're able to know Liferay inside and out. They know the core services of that platform so that you're not reinventing the wheel, right? Instead of creating these robust data structures through complex customization, leverage Liferay objects instead. So that now in long-term maintenance, your business users can go in and manage those model layer entities. They can start interacting with the forms already tied into the workflow. That means for you as a customer, one, it's going to be a quicker time to delivery, because now instead of building from scratch, you're leveraging the core value of the platform itself already immediately. And then at the same time, when it looks forward to maintenance, as you're looking to upgrading to a new version of Liferay, let's say in the future, you're not looking at all these different customizations that have been bolted on through that migration process, but now you're looking at core aspects of the platform that are there already baked in, out-of-the-box functionality that has a smooth transition process to that latest and greatest version, allows you to take more advantage of the frameworks that are already there and deliver new value through things like our marketplace and commerce capabilities if you so identify for your particular business. And one of the things I think is most important as you look at going through the migration and choosing who will take you through that process is you want to work with someone who's done this process before, right? They've gone through it. You're not a quote unquote guinea pig in this particular scenario where you're walking in blind to this scenario, but you're working with a partner who has done this before. They know what are the things to look out for, what are the key red flags, critical roadblocks that could happen through that process, and identifying them as early on in the process of implementation as possible so that you can mitigate risk through those events. And one thing that I think is great is as partners like AIMDek have done these migrations before in the past, they're able to identify source solutions like HCL or IBM WebSphere, right? And with those data structures that are there in that source solution, they're able to create scripts, right, for many different customers that allow them to go through that process and migrate data over. Of course, in each scenario, there may be small tweaks that need to be made, but allows you essentially a foundation to build from so that you're not starting from scratch going through that migration effort, but you're able to leverage the expertise, the knowledge, and the work that's been done before for other customers as they've gone through that migration process.
Thank you so much, Eric, for that. So to help enterprises understand how we undertake migration and what's our approach, I'll again invite Shubham, who will take you through our approach, and one case study also will discuss about the automation points that we provide, I mean the automation accelerators and all those things that we provide to our customers. What do you, Shubham?
Thank you. I'll now walk you through the approach we at AIMDek follow for any migration project. This process has been fine-tuned after undertaking multiple migration projects over the years. We at AIMDek begin by conducting an in-depth assessment of the current environment. This involves a thorough examination of the existing system, its architecture, and the technologies in use. We identify what works and what doesn't to ensure a seamless migration. This includes identifying the unique features, data sources, and custom implementations that are currently in place. This is crucial as it allows us to preserve the core functionalities that is critical to your business operations. During this phase, we actively engage with the key stakeholders in the organization. Their input is invaluable as it helps us understand the specific requirements, expectations, and potential challenges. We use this feedback to tailor our migration plan accordingly. Lastly, it is essential to understand that this assessment and discovery phase is not a one-time event. We continuously reassess the project as needed throughout the migration process. The flexibility ensures that we remain adaptable to the changing circumstances and can make necessary adjustments in the real time. Once we have a firm grasp of your current environment, we take next step to define the clear migration objectives and the success criteria. In one of our migration projects, client expectation was to migrate a financial index provider portal to Liferay DXP. The migration objectives included improving stock indexing speed by at least 25%, to improve the customer retention and enhancing the user engagement through personalized content recommendations. These objectives were specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. At the end of the journey, by following this process, we were able to achieve 35% faster stock indexing and 73% reduction in manual record management. As the migration process progresses, we revisit this and redefine these objectives based on feedback from stakeholders and any insights that emerge. By staying agile, we ensure that migration stays in sync with the changing needs and expectations, ensuring a successful transition to the new Liferay DXP platform. Data migration is often one of the most complex and critical aspects of the migration process, with an overarching focus on a zero data loss. For example, consider a scenario we encountered at AIMDek, where a customer wanted to migrate an e-commerce platform to Liferay DXP. We needed to develop a data migration strategy tailored to their current system, addressing challenges related to data volume, quality, and consistency. This involved transforming product catalogs, customer profiles, and transaction histories into a format compatible with Liferay DXP. Continuous validation and improvement of data migration process was necessary to maintain the integrity. Data accuracy was vital in ensuring that users had seamless access to their purchase history and inventory levels were correctly reflected in the new Liferay environment, minimizing potential and critical business disruptions. Many organizations rely on custom plugins, modules, or extensions to enhance their existing platform. For instance, if a customer is migrating a community portal, they will have built some custom-built social networking features that need to be adapted to Liferay DXP's architecture. During this phase, we at AIMDek modify these custom components to align with the new platform's architectures and standards. We perform rigorous testing to ensure all implementation continue to function smoothly. We gather feedback from end users in their use to input and refine the custom implementations that help us guarantee a smooth transition and maintain user satisfaction. Content management and cleanup are pivotal, especially if you're migrating a large-scale intranet or a website. Consider a case of a news publishing platform we at AIMDek undertook recently. Over time, this platform had accumulated duplicate articles, outdated content, and conflicting metadata. During the migration, we conducted a content audit and to identify and address these issues. For instance, we removed duplicated articles and aligned metadata with Liferay standards and ensured that users are easily able to access and find the content they need. We maintain data integrity by eliminating outdated or irrelevant content. We regularly monitor and manage this content post-migration, ensuring that the platform remains organized and user-friendly, providing a better user experience for the readers and editors alike. DXP's web contents and document management systems help us with these tasks, making it easier to uphold quality standards and organization, ultimately leading to a more efficient and enjoyable platform for all stakeholders. When it comes to role-based access management and permissions, let us take an example of a corporate intranet migration to Liferay DXP we at AIMDek undertook recently. Liferay DXP's robust user management capabilities enabled us to seamlessly configure and control role-based access and permissions. This feature simplifies the process of testing, refining, and adapting access controls to the as the organization evolves. We continuously review and refine the access management in Liferay DXP during migration to ensure that right individuals remain at the right appropriate level of access, effectively balancing data security with the user productivity. As previously mentioned, we develop accelerators and automations to streamline the migration process. For example, in one of the projects at AIMDek, we created a script to automatically transfer customer support tickets and their chat histories to the Liferay DXP. These tools are often tailored to the customer specific need. The goal is to reduce manual effort and minimize risks of errors that can occur during the manual data migration. We continuously improve our automation processes based on feedback and involving needs to ensure that the migration process remains efficient and the data is accurately transferred without interruption, resulting in a zero data loss, guaranteeing a smooth transition for the support teams and the customers in case of this project. During the implementation phase of the migration, we execute the migration plan, leveraging accelerators and automations we have created to streamline the process. We perform testing of the new Liferay environment functionality to ensure a seamless transition. We perform continuous monitoring and enhancement of the testing process that is vital to boost the overall quality and of the migration. We leverage Liferay's OSGI and plugin architecture, as well as these extensibility features that can greatly help this process, providing a modular framework for managing and deploying plugins and extensions, while allowing us to create custom plugins and extensions to fine-tune the platform to the specific requirements, ensuring a successful migration and a flexible, adaptable system for the future needs. In our user training and transition process, we at AIMDek recognize the vital role of human element in the migration. Our central focus is on empowering the end users with the necessary skills, bolstered by the well-crafted training materials, engaging hands-on workshops, and readily available expert assistance. Effective communication is a linchpin of our strategy, delivered through diverse channels that serve to inform users of the forthcoming changes and highlight its benefits. Additionally, we maintain an open feedback loop through surveys, analytics powered by Liferay Analytics and APMs, and direct customer support, which with a commitment to iterate for iterative improvements based on the invaluable human element input, ensuring high user satisfaction and a smooth transition to the Liferay DXP environment. Next slide, please. AIMDek employ a comprehensive process to address potential data loss during migration. Data loss can result from various factors, including challenges related to data volume, quality, and consistency. Our approach is tailored to the specific needs of the organization and focuses on developing a data migration strategy that addresses these challenges. We continuously validate and enhance the data migration process to maintain data integrity, and additionally, we leverage automation tools, accelerators to minimize manual effort and reduce the risk of errors. By continuously reassessing and adapting the migration process throughout the process, we ensure a smooth transition while preserving essential business data, ultimately helping organizations achieving zero data loss. With these accelerators, we have four main objectives. They should be automated. If manual intervention is needed for each environment, it defeats the purpose of creating these accelerators. They should be repeatable. All organizations usually have multiple environments like dev, QA, UAT, and production. Our automation should be repeatable between these environments and reversible as much as possible in case of errors. The accelerators should cover most of the common use cases for environments we are migrating from. We at AIMDek understand each organization is different, and during the process outline, we evaluate the organization's business processes and integrations and adapt our accelerators to the specific organizational needs. The automation should be able to run on an offline snapshot of data to provide repeatable results without impacting the organization's current environment. Recently, we at AIMDek created a functionality for a large public sector client to migrate translations from a multilingual content stored in SharePoint to Liferay 7.4 DXP web contents. The existing content and its translations were stored in separate databases. We were able to import all the data with its translations, preserving original metadata and versioning with zero data loss using automated migration and validation steps. Moreover, I'm excited to announce that we will be releasing this accelerator in the Liferay plugin marketplace to achieve this and similar use cases for not only SharePoint but other DXP platforms as well. Our goal is to provide a versatile solution that can be applied across the DXP platforms, ensuring that organizations can benefit from the capabilities from a wide range of scenarios and needs. This will also help organizations reduce the time to market. Now let's explore a case study where we had made optimum use of accelerators and automation to achieve zero data loss. this case study, our customer was an international nonprofit that brings people together to fight avoidable blindness with their network of partners. They treat, train, and inspire local teams so they can save sight in their communities. The nonprofit faced the challenge of migrating its growing community and needs for more and the need for more visibility, flexibility, and scalability of data access and permissions. They also wanted a flexible mobile-first interface that was not offered by their existing solution. The solution we at AIMDek implemented was a seamless migration from SharePoint Server 2016 to Liferay DXP. Following the process, we have already established making use of automated scripts and accelerators, such as to map SharePoint forms and lists to Liferay's dynamic data lists, Liferay forms, and custom objects. This also involved migration of data stored in .NET console applications in SharePoint using CSOM and CML queries to their respective Liferay custom implementations. All this was achieved without any disruptions to their business operations. The results were astounding. 98% of the functionality is being retained. The user experience showed an improvement by 26%, and licensing costs were reduced by 12% through our expert Liferay consultants. But the impact goes beyond numbers, with hundreds and thousands of eye care professionals trained in over 184 countries, over 26 million eye screenings, and 450,000 eye surgeries performed. The nonprofit was able to continue making a profound difference in the fight against blindness on a global scale.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shubham. Thank you so much, Eric. So with this, we open the house for Q&A. If you have any questions, if you want to understand anything regarding Liferay, regarding AIMDek, or anything regarding migration, you can please shoot your questions. You might see the question mark or the Q&A section below, and you just have to type your questions, and whoever is good enough to answer, or whoever has the best answer, will take it up and then share it with you guys. So yeah, the house is open for Q&A, guys. So usually this section is really quiet as usual. Here it is also, but I think we'll wait for a minute or two before we conclude this session. Okay, I think there are no questions, but yeah, if you have any questions in mind, you can share them over email. You can contact any of us. You can contact Liferay. You can contact AIMDek. Get your questions solved. Get that modern DXP into your system, and make the most out of it. Thank you so much, Eric, for joining this webinar today. Thank you for being that Liferay expert. Thank you, Shubham. Thank you so much. And lastly, thank you so much for all those who attended this webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.